Good afternoon, everybody. This is Butch Popeye Moss with Texas Biker Radio. Well, we've had to come back and redo the video we just did maybe 20 minutes ago because of new information, and we'll get to that in a minute. But first, I want to talk about the uh, the DFW area, which is a North Texas area. Well, actually, Dallas Fort Worth. Uh, we are in lockdown, which means you're not supposed to be out unless you're an essential service provider or, maybe a restaurant worker, hospital worker, whatever else. You're not supposed to be out gallivanting around unless you're out to get groceries or some essential service that can't come to your house. So, okay, we're abiding by that. And I am one of the people that are like have pre-existing conditions. Like I don't know, 19 years ago, I had a heart attack. I take medicines and all that other kind of stuff. I also I'm recovering from cancer surgery, and as you can tell by the way I talk now, my because there are well, I'm not going to explain that. Just I talk funny now, uh, as as everything is healing and coming back together. That being said, uh, I'm one of the people that should be locked down. One of the people that should be staying away from other people, which I am doing to the best extent I can. I still have to get out. We still have to go to the store and do certain things that uh, being alive requires. So, but you know what? We're not alone. There are people all across the country, California, New York, Washington State, all these places that are in lockdown, certain areas of those states. And so, hey, you're not alone. Everybody else is going through this too. So relax, enjoy your home, enjoy your children and your wife, and to the best you can. Keep you cool. Don't get cabin fever like I've got. I've already been locked up a month and a half. So hey, this is where we're at in combating this virus. We're trying to buy the country some time. We're trying to buy time for our physicians, our scientists, everybody else to get a grasp on this thing. Uh, Find something that works. Who knows? Maybe it'll be the summer heat that gets rid of it. Maybe this is just seasonal. Maybe it's not. And for those that think that, oh, look at Saudi Arabia, look, it's hot over there. Well, no, it's not right now. I did do a weather check in Saudi Arabia the other day, and the temperatures over there in the afternoons are running about 80 degrees. So it's just not that hot. And so, and I have sent off some of these goofy uh, remedies that are out there off to the CDC to see what kind of answer I get back. And so I know they're busy. And so as soon as we get an answer, you'll have an answer. Like the hair dryer. Taking a hair dryer, put your hand over the end of it and blow it up your nose to get it to 133 degrees to kill the virus. Now, do you have to do that every day? Do you do that every 15 minutes? When do you do that? You do it after you get the virus? I mean, I don't know. But it's one of the remedies that are out there, along with lemons. Oh, yeah. Slice up a lemon, put it in some hot water, and make yourself a hot lemonade. Oh, yeah. That'll get rid of it. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I don't know. But we sent it off. We've asked what their opinion is of it. And I can't wait for an answer on that. Uh, we are in lockdown. So it may affect our Corona ride that we were going to do this next weekend. They're saying you can be ticketed if you go out and you're not doing uh, some essential thing that you need to do. So you can be ticketed. So, maybe we'll go, maybe we'll take our ride and go grocery shopping. Just an idea, just an idea. But hey, as of today, or yesterday really, they took a vote in the Senate to try and get the stimulus package through. Now, you remember the saying that progressives used, "Never let a good crisis go to waste." I think it was Ron Emanuel that said that. Anyway, never let a good crisis go to waste. And this has been repeated by Nancy Pelosi. Hey, we have an opportunity here with these big stimulus packages to get some of our agenda in. And in particular, they're trying to revive portions of the new Green Deal. What they tried to inject into that vote that was held yesterday was carbon footprints. Yeah, you remember carbon footprints, where you could buy carbon footprints. Oh, yeah. On a comedy website I was doing back during that period of time, uh, we sold carbon footprints. Now, it was all a joke. We weren't really selling it, but we had people send us money to buy carbon footprints from us. Oh, yeah. Of course, we sent it back saying, "Hey, it's a joke, stupid." But it showed you how gullible Americans can be. So they tried to inject carbon footprints. They also tried to inject into their tax breaks for solar businesses. Really? Now, let me say this: Americans that are needing help right now, Americans who need a paycheck, Americans who have paid into Social Security and all the things that we've done over the years to allow the people up in Washington, D.C. to live the lifestyles they live, to enrich themselves. And they're worried about carbon footprints. They're worried about solar panels. Really? I promise you, a worker that's out of work today is not worried about that BS. They're not worried about bailouts for big corporations. They're not worried about that stuff. They're worried about how they're going to survive the next week. And for anybody in Washington, D.C., anybody, either side of the aisle, to use this as an advantage for a political agenda are out of their minds. And they will be remembered at the ballot box. They will be remembered. And you need to send that message to them right now. Right now. Get on a phone, tell them to get with the program like the rest of the country is doing. We're being asked to sit on our asses at home while the rest of the country suffers. Now, there will reach a point to where America has to go back to work. That people have to pay their mortgages, they have to support their families. And the damn people up in Washington, D.C. need to get with the program and send some of our money back to us. That's all this is. If they need to slash the federal budget, slash the son of a bitch. We're tired of the monkeying around. Let's take a look at it. The more they fight with each other, the more they carry on, the more the country sinks. We need them working for us and not for themselves, their political parties, or an agenda. That's what we need out of them, especially right now. Right now. And if you have a mind to, send this post out to everybody. Everybody. Share it. Because I promise you, this will be remembered. We're tired of them pointing fingers. We're tired of the games. We're tired of the endless investigations that benefit nobody but lawyers. We're sick of it. And just maybe the people in Washington, D.C. are the virus that will do this country in. Now, we see all this misinformation. We see all this stuff going out over the internet and in our news media. Understand that when Governor Cuomo comes on there and he talks about the need for masks, the need for ventilators, the need for hospital beds, all this stuff is projections. He's talking about stuff they may need, not necessarily what they need right now. Now, if you look at the worst case scenarios, they're going to need hundreds of thousands of beds. They're going to need all kinds of ICU availability. They're going to need all this stuff. But that's worst case scenarios. The government is doing all it can right now. Everybody on this with this virus started out behind because China kept it silent. They tried to keep it under wraps, and they're still doing that today. I promise you, their numbers and the numbers of dead are hidden. We don't know the truth. We don't know that the truth is coming out of them at all. This is where we're at. This is what we got to deal with. And there are certain states that are worse than others. Texas right now has the potential to be one of because of the size, because of our cities. Oh, hey, a good idea for Agenda 21 and having people living on top of each other in the cities, huh? Just saying, so I would inject that there. Because, bikers know more about this than people think. They think of us as Neanderthals. They think of us unintelligent, but that's just not the case. There are plenty of bikers out there that get this. And yeah, we've all got cabin fever. We all want to get out and do the things we want to do. But we're into, I think, maybe just about the 10th day of the 15-day plan. And we'll see at the end of this where we're at. Now, they've warned us. They warned us early on that as more testing goes out there, you're going to be able to, you're going to see the numbers rise, which is happening. But because of test availabilities, now more and more are coming online every day. I can go get tested right now if I want to. But you know what? I'm not showing any of the symptoms other than my allergies that I get every year at this time. Or any time the season changes, I get allergies. I get cold. I get sniffles. I can get a cough. I can get a touch of asthma. As a child, when I was like in the first and second grade, I would get bouts of asthma, and I would be, as my mom was hauling me to the hospital, I was wondering where my next breath would come from. Imagine that. Unable to breathe, unable to know where your next breath is going to come from, whether it's going to be your last breath. And that's what we have many people going through that are suffering for this from this virus. That's what it does. It attacks your lungs. Imagine them gasping for their next breath. So let's do the right thing, and we'll see where we're at the end of this 15-day period. It may last a little longer than that, which I suspect it will. We'll see where we're at. But we've got to send a message to those people up there in Washington, D.C., that we're not going to stand for this. And the best way I know to send a message, other than calling them up, emailing them, is in November at the ballot box. I don't have to tell you who the usual suspects are. You know. And I promise you, the last thing we need is Joe Biden doing a shadow news conference right after the president has his task force news conference. That's the last thing we need, is to hear from Joe Biden or Bernie Sanders, for that matter. You can also look at it, the 40 years that Joe Biden spent as a senator and as a vice president. I've checked it out. We've searched everywhere. Where were they when all this stuff was being put together? The antiquated system that we have now, that they're trying to catch up. They're playing catch up. There's several reasons they're playing catch up. One is because China didn't tell the world what was going on. The other is because of a system that wasn't designed to handle this kind of pandemic, this kind of virus, something that spreads so fast. The system was not designed to handle that. So now we have everybody doing all this stuff, trying to catch up. They're trying to fix it on the fly. And they're doing the best job they can. We've got the top scientists in the country and the world working on it. I do believe they will come up with something sooner rather than later. Sooner than a year that's been projected for a vaccine. They're going to come up with something that works. Or the virus itself is just going to die out because seasons change. One or the other. Again, we can't have political parties trying to inject something into the stimulus package that doesn't pertain to the stimulus package. Nothing. Get money out there to American workers that so desperately need it. Get it out there to small businesses so they can keep their doors open. Get it out to major corporations that are suffering. Because I promise these other countries that subsidize their manufacturing will do whatever it takes. And we've got to have that attitude, doing whatever it takes. With that, everybody, ride safe, be safe. This is Butch Popeye Moss, Texas Biker Radio.